There we go. All right, we are up and running. Woo! On another week of quarantines and prepping up for whatever comes in the future.
So how was your week?
Oh, it was lovely week.
I sat in on your training Wednesday. I thought that was pretty darn good.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think
we'll be doing it every Wednesday. So.
Well, it's a good thing to share with your peeps. It's good information.
Yeah. For those listening in and wondering what we're talking about, we're doing a weekly webinar on helping local businesses during the quarantines. And this past week, we did one on Google My Business and how it affects businesses and whatnot. So we're doing it for marketers. We're also doing it for local businesses. So a lot of the people on there are the restaurateurs and psychotherapists, which I know we had some psychotherapists on there. So there's a lot of different people on there, but lots of fun indeed. So, but today we're going to talk about something a little different. We're going to be talking about video, Google My Business, and helping businesses. And this actually comes from a story that happened earlier today, believe it or not. So I kind of twisted things around after I spoke to somebody earlier, and we'll talk a little bit about that and why we're bringing that up, and partially based off of the webinar that we did the other day too. So kind of fits all together. So, all right, we're ready to get this show started. Get this show on the road. We're a few minutes late. We apologize.
You, sir, are
World's
correct,
coming
sir.
to an end. We're allowed to be a couple minutes late. So, all right. Well, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2. On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to talk about videos, Google My Business, and how you can help businesses using those two things. Should be a lot of fun. And today's episode is made possible by our good friends at Adobe. That's right, Adobe, the creators of the Creative Suite line of tools that pretty much everybody should have. Most people have Photoshop, hopefully, but if you don't, well, now's the opportunity to get Photoshop along with all the other items in the Creative Suite, such as After Effects and Adobe Premiere and Illustrator, and a whole bunch of other ones that, quite honestly, I don't even know what half of them do. There's so much in there. I use like 4 or 5 of them, and I see all these other ones in there, and I don't even know what half of them do, but I know Spark is becoming big. That's in there. So you can grab Adobe CS, Adobe Creative Suite, right now and start creating everything that you do, whether it's using Photoshop to create graphics or Illustrator to do illustrations. Maybe you need Adobe Premiere to start editing videos, or After Effects to do some really cool video effects. Well, this is the program that you need. This is the suite that you need, the Adobe Suite, right from our good friends at Adobe. And you can check it out right now by heading on over to raiselinks.com/Adobe CS. All one word, Adobe CS. And you can pick it up now. And, Steve, I know you use Photoshop, I'm sure. And
my wife actually has it, and whenever I need anything done, she just does it for me. But she produces a ton of ads.
I was going to say, she probably does more Illustrator than anything else, too, I bet.
No, it's the graphic. It's taken the place of Quark, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
InDesign, that's it. And she uses that quite a bit and very proficient in it. And Photoshop, and loves it.
Yep.
And she loves... I mean, at first she was like, it's cloud-based now. I don't like that. But actually,
it's not cloud-based. It's not cloud-based. Oh, well, maybe some of the softwares are. Photoshop and Illustrator, you download them. You're connected to the cloud, but you download the actual program still from there anytime you want. And
that's probably what she's done then. I never work in it. She does it for me.
If you do any kind of business, you got to have Photoshop. Come on.
You do.
If you're an adult, you got to have Photoshop.
Well, I'm not an adult.
Get Photoshop.
I'm 15 years old.
I use Photoshop probably as much as any other program out there.
Sure.
With the exception of maybe Final Cut Pro or ScreenFlow would be right up there with it. But yeah, I use it on a daily basis. I use After Effects quite often, although I don't do well with Illustrator. I've tried to use it a few times. It's just not my sort of thing. But I know people love Illustrator. Oh, I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
People making logos and things like that, Illustrator has it all. So
I'm not quite. She works downstairs here in the house, and she won't let me come down there. So I don't know exactly what she does.
You don't want to know. But whatever she's doing, she's probably doing it with Adobe CS. And like I said, if you got a business, you need to have this. It doesn't matter if you're a plumber. You need to have Photoshop so that you can create things when you need them. You need to have all these programs. Maybe you're going to shoot a video. You need to create a nice video, edit it in Premiere, add a little After Effects to it. You can have some amazing stuff, high end. And right now, they've changed things to where you get it for a monthly price, and it varies depending upon which version you decide to get of things. But you know, I'm talking anywhere from like $29 to $50. If you decide you just want Photoshop, I think you can get Photoshop for $9 a month.
Can you?
There are softwares out there that we talk about all the time that are not in anywhere near the league of the Adobe softwares. I mean, I'm talking fly-by-night softwares that are pretty cool that charge more than that per month. And you can get Photoshop for $9 a month, $10 a month. Come on, people. Grow up.
Come on, people.
Get Photoshop. Head on over to raiselinks.com/AdobeCS. With that, let's hit that funky music and get this show on the road.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the video guy. And I'm Steve Sleeper. And the homepage is govmm.com, where we feed things out to like Apple Podcasts, and you can subscribe there and get groovy with us. No, jiggy. Get jiggy
with it.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
I got to fix my lighting.
Stuff. Oh, that's all right. You're fine. You're fine. This is an
yeah,
audio podcast that we just happen to record on video, so you're fine. Most people listen, not see anyway. But
that's true.
In any case, like I said today, you know, we're going to be talking about video and Google My Business and helping businesses, and I want to talk a little bit about where this came from. So, right now, if you're watching this in the future, this is during the great pandemic of 2020, and that's probably what it'll be called by then, the Great Pandemic of 2020.
The Great Pandemic.
But most people are quarantined, and so we decide, and many businesses are shut down, or they've had to really change the way they do business. And so we've decided to do a weekly local masterminding series where we talk about what businesses are currently doing because of the situation, how they're running their business, what business owners are doing, and how you can use this time where maybe you're closed and you're stuck at home. Use this time to prepare so that when you're ready to open, that business is #1 on Google and ready to fire on all cylinders. And so that's what we've done. And so the show today is kind of based off of that a little bit, but it's actually also based off of something that happened earlier today. I was speaking with a new potential client. They set up an appointment to learn about marketing, and I happened to do some prep work beforehand because they had signed up to do our Reputation Videos program.
Oh,
and
okay.
If you don't know much about the Reputation Videos program, essentially what we do is we create videos from your 5-star reviews. So there's an actor who says, hey, we love 5-star reviews. Here's another great 5-star review. We show the 5-star review. It's on an iPad and it looks cool. And then it has a closing and a call to action. And we're offering these to businesses right now, and they happen to sign up because they wanted to get one of these. But what happened was I did some research, and I found that they really didn't have a Google My Business listing. I mean, they had one kind of. There was one there. But, I mean, it was, every once in a while you deal with somebody who maybe they've got a Google My Business listing, and all you see is the little, virtual 360 image at the top and some of the information. I have never seen a Google My Business listing with nothing in it.
Did they claim it?
Well, she says they have, and it looks like it's been claimed.
Okay.
She said in the past they've actually paid people to quote unquote do this for her, and clearly they haven't done it for her. And
Jeez.
I mean, it's got their name, it does have a phone number, and it does have their hours of operation, but there's no image in the top at all. And I mean, not even the Google Earth 360 image that's usually there by default, or images that they pull from the street view. I mean, nothing, not one image in this.
Somebody just took their money. Somebody just took their
pretty
money,
much. And she said it was a long while ago too, so who knows? But
who knows?
She said, well, it's supposed to be all set, but there was nothing there. There was no images, there was no information, there was no reviews, not one review on there. And I've honestly never seen a listing this sparse before, and it just reminded me that with what we do and what we're trying to do with videos, with social media, we're always trying to showcase people's 5-star reviews and their high reputation. Well, how do you do that if the Google My Business doesn't work? Now, they did have reviews on some other places. Home Advisor, they had a bunch on there. So we could use that and we could do that. But what I told her straight up, I said, we can do a video for you. We can pull a review from somewhere else. I said, but honestly, I would put that on the back burner for a little bit. Let's figure out this Google My Business listing and fix this, because there's really, that's where you're going to get most of your calls from, is from that Google My Business. And that's where what we're going to try and boost when we're doing videos and when we're doing social media. We're going to try and make that a showpiece and make it rank better. And this is just not, even if it ranked, there's nothing there for people to see. So that's what we're working on right now. She's trying to find out if she even has access to the Google My Business. I asked her, I said, well, do you have a Gmail account? And she's like, yeah, we've got a Gmail account. I said, all right. So I send her instructions, go to business.google.com, try to sign in, see if the business shows up there. And if it doesn't, let me know. But we'll see what happens there. And, we may have to contact Google and try to find out some things and figure out alternate ways to claim this poor thing. But, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But that's one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up, because even though we're doing lots of video stuff and we're doing social media stuff and we're helping businesses, if we don't have that foundation there, then the rest of it kind of falls apart. So we really need to work on these things almost in tandem, really. We want to get that Google My Business listing set up properly. We want to make sure they've got good reviews, then use those reviews in the videos, and then, of course, put the videos on the Google My Business listing.
That's right.
And that's going to take, a little bit of effort. And I don't know about you, Steve, but, have you ever run into any of these businesses that really just don't have anything for a GMB listing?
No. I go after personal injury attorneys, plumbers, what else, roofers. There's another one, dentists, which I'm not going after now because they're all closed. But no, I've never seen that. Now, talking about reviews, and let me just kind of, slice something in there, because you're going to be a little more global than that on what you're going to talk about. But what I have found, perfect case study, urgent care in Orange County. Now, of course, they got more business than they can handle right now, but this was before the COVID thing. They ranked okay around their location in Orange, California. Okay, if you're just ranking in the neighborhoods around your GMB, you get a lot of searches every month in Orange, California, no doubt about it. But they felt like they weren't getting any conversions, long story short, and it didn't look like they were getting any conversions. They didn't have any reviews. So we went out and over time got them 25 5-star reviews. Guess what? Started getting a lot of conversions all of a sudden because of those reviews. So the reviews are important to help you rank. It's a ranking factor, but I think it's more important as a conversion factor to have those reviews.
I completely agree.
And then you add in the reputation videos. And
that's the thing is, and we talk about this with a lot of businesses. You got to have those reviews, and they got to be good reviews too. If you're a 2-star business, you look on Google and you get 2 stars. Why are you going to have us help you to raise that up so that more people see that you're a 2-star business? You got to have that foundation. You got to have a lot of 5-star reviews. You got to have a good number. It really could almost hurt you to show up in that 3-pack if you're a 1 or a 2-star business.
Oh yeah, it's going to hurt you. Now, I got an attorney client, and he's a great guy, and he never met a stranger. He never condescends to anybody. He's just a good old boy in Mississippi, and everybody loves the guy. And they got one gal that called in. I forget what happened. Somebody ran a red light and hit her. No, she got stopped for running a red light. She got a ticket. So she called in and wanted some help, but she was just nasty to the frontline people, and they didn't know how to handle it, and they really didn't handle it. And then she leaves him a 2-star review. I see he's got all these 5-star reviews, but actually it was a 1-star, and she raised it to a 2. I see he's got all these 5-star reviews, but I never got a chance to work with him, blah, blah, blah. And so we talked about it, and he said, I don't know, she just called in and was weird, and they didn't think it was real, and blah, blah, blah. So what did he do? Instead of putting in there, well, you called in and you were weird and we didn't know what to do, he said, I'm sorry this happened. We've put in procedures to make sure this doesn't happen again, which he did. And we'd like to have the chance to earn your business. Give us a call anytime, and we'll help you out. Well, she didn't. But it was he treated it as a learning opportunity. Perfect answer to it, that she raised it to a 2-star still, the first thing you see. He's got a 4.9 or something like that. But that was an opportunity to learn, and people don't believe the reviews are real if you got nothing but 5 stars. So if you got a couple of 3 stars in there, 4 stars, or even a 2-star, and you answer it correctly, that it's not necessarily a bad thing. And you want to keep it real.
And anytime there's a lot of 5-star reviews, people always say, "Oh, that can't be real. That can't be real."
Yeah.
But the reality is, hey, you know what? It usually is. I mean, yes, people used to game the system all the time. Yes, people still do it to an extent nowadays. But for the most part, reviews are pretty good. They're pretty good at tracking those reviews and whatnot. And
they know.
You have
Google
to be,
knows.
You have to be. They want you to log in so they know who you are. Which, by the way, is a big thing. That's helped with a lot of the lower star reviews, because a lot of people don't want to, show, oh, John Smith said that you're a 1-star company, because then they're going to know, oh, why did John say that? And they know who John is. And, so a lot of people are, I don't want to say wary, but they're less likely to leave bad reviews when they know that their name is attached to it, unless they have a really good reason, which I usually, if I leave a bad review, there's a reason for it.
Well, and that's why I believe you can believe Google reviews more so than you can Yelp, because in Google, your full name is there. It's Steve Sleeper or Ray Lane, where in Yelp, it's Steve S. or Ray L. And then who knows what the algorithm is for publishing reviews in Yelp. I don't get it. I've had people leave me 5-star reviews on my Yelp, and they deleted them, and they were honest reviews.
Oh yeah, so. No, Yelp is well known for that. They will remove, or they don't necessarily remove them. They hide them, so they're still there, and people can find them, but they don't count. Essentially, it's a very weird thing that they do, and they've been sued over it a few times, and they still stand by it. Oh, we think this one's fake, so it's all based, like, for instance, if you start a new Yelp account, you've never left a review, and you leave a 5-star review for somebody, it's probably going to get hidden, because they're like, oh, somebody just signed up specifically to leave a review for this guy. But we got to remember, and this is the other part of it too. I said video, Google My Business, and helping businesses. It's not all about Google, because maybe it should have said videos, reviews, and helping businesses, because Yelp is a very, very important place too. Even though most people hate Yelp for a lot of reasons, they are very good with the stuff that they do put out there. And they're the backbone behind Alexa. They're the backbone behind iPhones. And so if you think about that, when people are out and about and they're doing a search for something, if they're on their Android phone, it's going to default to Google. If they're on their iPhone, that default is to Yelp, unless they purposely decide to go to Google for the search.
Right.
And so you got to understand. So that means that you've got potentially, upwards of 50% not using Google when they're on the road searching. So you've got to work with Yelp too, and make sure that is set up, that you're optimizing that setup, that you're making sure you're getting reviews there as well. It's tougher. It's tougher to get reviews in Yelp, and we've seen where, for instance, when we do reputation systems, it's more difficult to get a bunch of Yelp reviews than it is to get Google reviews. And the reason for that is Google is kind of like integrated into your phone already. It's integrated into your web browser. You're probably already logged into a Google account anyway. So if you want to leave a review, you're already logged in and you just go and it's done. Mm-hmm. With Yelp, when you say, hey, can you leave a review on Yelp? Well, they've got to click on it. They got to open the Yelp app or go to the Yelp website. They've got to have an account. They're probably not logged into the account. They don't remember the password, or they have to create an account just to leave a review. And so chances are they just go away. And we've seen where if we drive reviews towards Google, you get 20, 30 reviews. You drive them towards Yelp and you get 5 or 6 doing the exact same thing. And it's just because most people aren't there. But you need to keep that in mind that Yelp is probably the second most important. Facebook can be an important one, but I think Google and Yelp are by far the 2 most important when it comes to reviews. Now, if you're in different other things, maybe TripAdvisor is very important for you, maybe HomeAdvisor, maybe Angie's List. But for the average person, those are the 2 sites where people are getting most of the information from and probably getting most of the phone calls from. Mm-hmm. And many of the other things that we do are not very useful if we don't have that foundation. I can't create a 5-star review video if you don't have any 5-star reviews.
Right.
Can't do it, Mm-hmm. So you need to make sure you've got those 5-star reviews and you got to work on it. And once you do, then you've got to market that stuff. You got to take those 5-star reviews, put them out in videos, put them out in graphics, share them on social media. Let people know that you're a 5-star company. And make sure that you're doing all the things that you need to, because then the opposite side of this is once you have that decent review, we want to make sure that that listing gets to the top of Google. And how do we do that? Well, citations, reviews, things like that. So on the opposite side of that, with our videos, we need to make sure that we're putting names, addresses, phone numbers, links back to Google My Business, links back to Yelp, links to some of the 5-star reviews directly, so that you build citations for Google My Business, links for Google My Business, links for Yelp, and really start to improve the rankings of all of those things because you're putting it all together. If you've got a YouTube channel and you make 30 videos, you now have 30 opportunities to get citations that link back to Google My Business. 30 times you get to put that Yelp link back to the Yelp listing. And that's only going to help you out. So you really need to get in there and start doing some of these things because they will. They'll go hand in hand. They'll help each other out, and you'll be able to build a nice foundation with that. And and it goes beyond that too, because right now businesses are struggling. So this is the time to get out there and start doing that. This is the time for creating videos. This is the time for writing reviews. And go the opposite way, by the way. This is your time to go out and help those businesses that you've been to for years. Get out there and leave a review. Go to your favorite restaurant, search up your favorite restaurant on Google right now. Leave a review for them. They could use it right now. Mm-hmm. Your hardware store, your lawyer, whatever it happens to be, go out and leave a 5-star review if they deserve it, because they could really use that right now. They can use that boost. They can, and it's definitely going to help their business overall. So now's the time, instead of sitting there and watching whatever you're watching on Netflix, get out there and do some of these things, not only for your business, but do things to help other people's businesses as well, because it's just going to, it's going to help everybody out, and everybody needs it right now. There's no doubt about it. Everybody needs a little bit of help.
Funny story. One of my clients shares everything that they get as far as reviews, as long as they're good reviews on all their social media, especially Facebook. And they do a lot of frontline staff training to get those 5-star reviews. And it's more than just asking for a 5-star review, which you're not supposed to do on Yelp. And, Google has these little stickers you can put up in stores, leave a review for us on Google and stuff like that. And so they do ask for them. But more importantly, they do frontline staff training so that the customer has a good experience, or the patient or the client, or, whatever you want to say, has a good experience. So you need to start with that. The organic part of it is treating people like you want to be treated and all that kind of stuff, just providing a good customer service experience. But I noticed that a lot of the reviews they were sharing were Yelp. And so I was talking to my client, and I said, why the emphasis on Yelp? And she said, Yelp is the bane of my existence. But that's what a lot of our clients use because they have iPhones. So hey, leave us a review, and they go to leave a review, and Yelp comes up, So it is important, even though we as marketers are not thrilled about Yelp. That's ultimately what the end user is going to. That is their go-to resource. So
yeah, and I think Yelp gets ignored a lot by a lot of businesses and a lot of marketers because they focus on Google because they know that's such a big deal. But really, you need to put in the effort on Yelp. You got to make sure that everything's set up properly. Double check everything. Make sure that you're sending people there to leave reviews. Sorry, Yelp, we're going to do that. People are going to send people there. Yelp's stance is, well, you shouldn't send people to Yelp. They should just go there because they want to leave. No, nonsense. You got to ask people, hey, leave us a review. Let us know how you're doing. Yelp doesn't like that, but you know what? Sorry. It's what we're going to do.
What a lot of my customers do is just say, hey, would you leave it? Did you have a good, if you had a good experience, leave us a review. However they do that. And they've got Google stickers all over the office, but they still leave Yelp reviews. So It is what it is, And
there's a lot of other ones out there too. It's not just Google and Yelp. There's Yellow Pages and Super Pages and Dex and Merchant Circle and Hot Frog and a whole bunch of other ones that I
Judy's Book.
Judy's Book, Craigslist. Oh, not Craigslist. Judy's
Plurk.
Book and
no, Plurk's not a review site.
No, Plurk is not a review site. Facebook is another good one that people can leave reviews on. So
it is.
There's a lot. I don't like the fact that Facebook has removed their star rating. I think it's ridiculous that it's either yes or no. Oh, ages ago. Yeah. If you leave a review on Facebook now, it's basically thumbs up or thumbs down on the business. That's it. There is no 5-star. I mean, the 5-star reviews are still there because it used to be there, but yeah, no, they don't do that anymore. It's just, do you recommend them or not? Yes, you recommend them. No, you don't.
Well, I have seen that. I just learn something new every day. I just haven't paid attention. That's when I should.
Very sad. I don't know why they've done that, but
Well, if you do your research on a business before you go to visit them, like you Google personal injury attorneys and the top 3 come up and you see the top one and you click on it and then you search on the ABC personal injury lawyer and you look at all the reviews, what are you going to see? You're going to see GMB, Facebook, and Yelp.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. And the thing is reviews like this, and I realize we're kind of talking more about the reviews than the video part of this, but I think it's very important. You got to understand that reviews are right up there, as far as people deciding on a business, they are right up there just below personal recommendations from family and friends. And it's not much of a difference, but here is the big difference between that. If you go to, if we had, Thanksgiving and Uncle Hal says, hey, you got to go visit my dentist. He's the best dentist in the world. It's, Mike's Dentist Company. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Mike's Dental. The first thing people do is they go online and they look up Mike's Dental. So if Uncle Hal says he's the best dentist in the world and you go home and you're like, oh, I got to check out that dentist. And guess what? You pull up that he's a 2-star in Google. Uncle Hal's recommendation on that doesn't matter anymore. His recommendation goes out the window.
It turns out that Uncle Hal's a meth addict, and
could be. That's why he's getting his teeth done.
That's
but but the reality is, personal recommendations are great, but you have to have the backing there because people are going to search you out afterwards. They're going to look you up. And it's a ridiculous amount. It's like 80-some%, I think, will immediately look you up online before they'll, even after a recommendation like that. And so if you've got a 2-star reputation on there on Yelp or on Google or whatever, the recommendation doesn't matter because nobody's going to go to you. You're going to be like, oh, well, I guess nobody else agrees with Uncle Hal. He must be wrong. So you need to have that backing. So even if you get a personal recommendation, they need to see that you're a 5-star company. And you gotta put a plan in place to actively do this because once you do that and you have a good base, then you can do all of these other things with that to help build that reputation up in other places, help that Google My Business listing to rank better. And and it's just gonna help you all around, but you absolutely have to put the efforts into that in order for it to work. Now, what kind of efforts are we talking about? you need to ask people to leave reviews. You need to provide little cards that maybe have a QR code on them so people can do that. Put those stickers up in your office where people can walk by and do a QR code. Send it out in emails. Contact your past customers and say, hey, how did we do? Let us know. And they can go and they can do that. Now, you got to be careful, because if you got people that maybe aren't so happy about the things they did in the past, well, then you're just asking them to leave a bad review. But hopefully...
But that's the importance of treating people well,
Yes, absolutely. You got to treat people well so that you can do that, and you can send out that review. Ask them to review you. One thing you could probably do that would make a difference is put that into the footer of all your emails, so that every email that goes out says, hey, let us know how we're doing. Rate us on Google or whatever. And then every email that goes out has that on there. They can click on that. They can leave a review. Call people on the phone. Ask them how they did. Ask them to leave you a review. We used to do things like have a computer in the office, but unfortunately with the IPs and everything, it'll start to negate some of those, because wait a minute, they're all these reviews are coming from the same IP. But if you have them do it with their phone right there in your office, that'll make a difference. I've got a friend who's got a pest control company, and I talked about this on the webinar the other day. And what he does is, as soon as a technician is done at a home, the homeowner gets a text that says, hey, how did we do? Would you like to tip your technician? We will give them the $10 if you'll just leave a review here. And then it links to Google. So if you go and leave a review on Google, the technician will get a $10 tip, and you don't have to give him a tip. And people seem to like that. And he gets a lot of reviews for that. I was talking to one of my dental clients earlier, and he's the one I talked about on the webinar as well. I mean, he gets just insane amounts of 5-star reviews, just constantly. Each one of his locations has hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews, and they just come in every single day. Now, it's obviously slowed down a little bit right now because nobody's going in to, see the dentist. But when they do, we're still getting them, and we get them all the time. But when things are up and running, oh my gosh, I get multiple 5-star review things every single day. Boop, they just got a 5-star review, got a 5-star review. And of course it pops up on my phone and it's in my email, and it's like, holy cow. But they are just way going crazy with that. They get a ton of them, and it's because they actively try to get them. And it works. It absolutely works. And speaking of that, so we're talking about the 5-star reviews. You got to have that base. Well, now you got to start using that and marketing. And one thing I wanted to bring up, right now with helping businesses, like I said, now is the time where you can start making some videos. If you're sitting at home and you can't go to the office, why not make some videos? Train people on what it is you do, so that when things go back to normal, if they ever do, you'll be able to have those videos out there. People will know your name and they'll be able to contact you. That dentist that I was talking about, he actually sent me some videos that he created over the last couple of days, and he taught how to create disinfectant. So if you don't, if you can't get it in the store, how can you still make disinfectant so that you can, put it on the door handles and make wipes out of it and wipe the countertops and the door handles and whatever's in the shopping carts. And he did it with, he showed how to do it with alcohol and water and a spray bottle. And that's it. And he shows you what the concentration should be and how to set it up. And he made a separate video for each of his locations, so that each of them had that disinfectant video, but he made one for each location, so it was specific to this location. In reality, had he talked to me first, he probably would have had to just make one, and we would have, edited it up for him. But we edited those yesterday and got those up, and so now he's got this content for each one of the locations, teaching people how you can go and do that. And by the way, if you need disinfectant, you want to know how to do it. It's basically 75%. Alcohol to 25% water. So, 3-to-1 ratio there. And so what you want to do is you get like Absolute, which is 190 proof, and that will work. You put that in with the water, and then you have a nice disinfectant. Do not put it on your skin. Yes.
Vodka?
Absolute. Because it's almost all alcohol. I mean, it's 95% alcohol. So you just get that, you put that in with the water, and put it in a spray bottle and spray it on a cloth and wipe it down. Don't put it on your skin. Don't use it as hand sanitizer.
Don't drink it.
It's not good for that. I guess you could if you wanted to, but It's safe to drink, I suppose, if you don't mind being drunk. But
I don't want to be a drunk anymore.
I don't blame you anymore. But no, so that kind of content, it helps him to stand out. It helps get attention at a time when it's needed. And so that's something that he did. I may have made a mistake with that, though, because I purposely avoided in those videos using the word coronavirus and all that, because from what I hear, YouTube is basically shutting people down when they do that. But then I'm looking at the competition for that afterwards, and there's tons of people, coronavirus disinfectant, how to make it, that kind of thing. So they're doing it and they're saying it. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but the conventional wisdom was that if you make a video and it mentions coronavirus, they're likely to just shut it down on you, just because they don't want people passing false information. So.
Yeah, we made one for our urgent care that said coronavirus test kits, Laguna Beach, California. In fact, I'm looking it up now to see if it did rank, and it never ranked. It never showed up. And
well, it's hard. There's so many things ranking for that stuff right now that it's going to take a lot of effort to do that. But
test kits. Well, but coronavirus test kits, Laguna Beach, California, and it does. And you go to videos. And you look for it, and you go 5 pages deep, and you can't find it.
That seems to be an issue. And they do have issues with that. I remember doing one for a lawyer that did nursing home abuse, and when we tried to rank a video in that small city, which should have been easy to do for nursing home abuse, it would not rank. I made a clone of that video, changed it a little bit, re-uploaded it, and renamed it as nursing home neglect, and that made it to page 1 instantly.
Oh.
Now, here's the funny part. When it did that, because, Google now has the carousel, but when that one made it to number 1, it wants to show a second video, so guess what it showed? It showed the one that it wouldn't rank before. So it actually sucked it in there anyway. But yeah, for whatever reason, they didn't like that word. So with the coronavirus thing, they may be putting the kibosh on people using that word.
Well, what I did, what I ended up doing is I made a bunch of videos for online doctor video visits, Orange, California, Orange County, California, Irvine, California, and a bunch of other cities. Right. And they're showing up for all those cities on page 1 pretty much at the top because it's not competitive. However, it's getting searches. So what's the moral to that story? Well, if you can find non-competitive keywords that are getting searches and nobody knows they are, you can rank up at the top there. But there's always, if there's something it's not going to rank for, think of something else that it will rank for. And that's a good example of it working. And it's getting a lot of views, by the way, the video. So that's good. Cool.
Well, and that's the thing. This is the time to get out there and experiment with things. You've got if you've got the extra time. I'll be honest with you. I'm not participating in this whole virus thing because I'm as busy as I've ever been. Seems nonstop from every day. I'm stuck working late every day because so much is going on. We're getting new clients. We're working with current clients. Nobody's canceled on us, and things have just been crazy. So I don't know how long this is going to go on for a lot of people, but for us, we've been busy right now. It hasn't really slowed us down at all, and hopefully it won't. But at some point it may. But we seem to be doing pretty well with it. But now's the time. If you've got the downtime, start working on these things. Start building on these things. Make sure you've got a YouTube channel that's set up properly. Make sure you got a Twitter and a Facebook that's set up properly. Make sure that you're setting up your Google My Business properly and your Yelp account and going through and getting reviews and all those things that can help you out, because you're not going to get another opportunity like this. Plumbers are busy doing plumbing. They don't have time to sit and do this stuff normally. But if you're at home now, now's that time to do it before you get back to full-time schedules. So.
Well, and I will tell you that businesses are seeing the value of starting to do things now, because you can make a splash with some things right now. The things that are going to take months for you to rank for, you start to do any kind of SEO effort, it takes 6 months, that type of thing. If you can go to a business and convince them that you've got something that's that nobody else has, and you can do some things for them, GMB is a good example of that.
Absolutely.
You can get some money because they're figuring that everybody else is shutting down. They're not going to shut down, at least as far as the advertising goes. I'm talking dentists. A lot of them are closed, but they're going to put some money into doing some things to get a leg up on the competition, so that when this thing is over, they're at the top. Personal injury attorneys, dentists, that type of thing. But there's some things that will continue to happen. People are going to get into car wrecks. People are going to have plumbing needs. They're going to need this. They're going to need that. And so don't figure the world's shut down. There's some states that are not in lockdown. Here in Nebraska, we're not in lockdown. Bars and restaurants are closed. Churches can only have 9 people there. There's a lot of things that you can't do. But the governor doesn't want to lock down the economy. He doesn't want to start the Great Depression in Nebraska, and so he's trying to. And really, what it comes down to is what they're looking at is having enough hospital beds to accommodate people. And if they have enough hospital beds and they don't have to lock down, they're not going to do it. Granted, things are terrible in New York City, but in other parts of the country, not so much, including Southern California.
Right.
You know, I mean, they don't have the numbers that a New York City has. Why, I don't know, but they don't.
No, so. Well, I think it's just, you know, New York City is such a close population. You know, everybody's physically close at all times.
Right on top of each other.
There's a lot of people coming in from different places and whatnot. So I can see why that would be hard hit with that. Southern California, yeah, it's a densely populated place, but it's still a little more, you know, people aren't right on top of each other in most of those places, so it's a little different. But, you know, whew.
Well, Ray's always preaching, get out there and get some business. I'm busy, you know.
Yeah, we're keeping busy.
I hired my daughter as my admin.
Nice. Good job.
Sort of like what you did, you know, there, you know, all the advice she gave me, how much to pay him and stuff. And she was going to work cleaning houses. She just graduated from college in December, got her teaching degree. And she knew that between January and September, when she had a real job, she would, you know, when the school year starts, she was going to have to do some other things. So she planned on substitute teaching, cleaning houses, bartending, lifeguarding. Well, guess what? All those things went away. So I hired her, and I'm paying her, you know, what you're paying your guy, and then she's teaching with Sylvan. So there are opportunities out there. She's online teaching. There are things going on out there. You just got to find them.
There sure is. Good. Well, it's exciting. It's crazy. It's wild. But you know what else is crazy, wild, and exciting?
Me and Ray.
Well, besides that, Adobe Creative Suite. Adobe Creative Suite is an exciting program. And like we said at the beginning, if you're a business, come on, grow up, get the Adobe Suite. It's got all sorts of things in there to help you to do all sorts of creative things. That's why it's called the Creative Suite. You got Photoshop, you got After Effects, you got Premiere, you've got Illustrator, and a whole bunch more. Spark is a big one right now. Dreamweaver. All of these things are in there ready for you to start making the graphics and websites and web graphics and videos and animations that you need for your business in order to do fun, exciting marketing. So if you're ready to do that, well, head on over to raiselinks.com/AdobeCS and pick it up today. You can get it for a cheap monthly price and have all of the programs. It's incredible. You got to check it out. Yes. So do it, Adobe CS, raiselinks.com/AdobeCS. And with that, another episode is in the can, headed to the archives for future generations to study and learn from. And
it's in a safe in a volcano.
Safe in a volcano.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All righty. Okay, buddy.
So with that, hope you're all staying safe. We'll see you next week on Video Marketing Madness.
Bye.
Let's hit that music. Here we go.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.